Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, family. Welcome to the Mental House. I am your host, Khadijah. As you can probably tell, it's extremely early. Um, Maybe this is kind of like the best time to do a video after I've done my morning work, my morning focus, my morning redirection. I'm sorry, I have to go in. I gotta still stand up for Colin Kaepernick. I have to respect that man. He is a man. You know, we didn't think in the black community that they had men anymore. I'm not talking about some big, dumb jocks who are only concerned about fame, um, who are pretty much willing participants in their own demise. So now I understand why most athletes are called big, dumb jocks. I really do. I understand that, and I don't mean to be disrespectful to any of y'all, but at this point of the game, I don't even care. I can't even care about how they feel, simply because the larger society at whole don't give a damn about how we feel. They don't give a damn about how we feel, what we go through, and that's why I say silence is consent. Whenever the subject of race comes in, most of your friends or your so-called white friends, they get silent. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to talk about the demon, the big animal that's in the room. Okay, so you can sit and talk at the water bubbler all day long. Okay, but the minute somebody mentions Trayvon Martin or Tamir Rice, that's when they go say, "Oh, excuse me, I have to go to the locker." Yes, yeah, I don't want to talk about that. It's so negative. And the sad part about that is they have a lot of dumb black jocks following suit, just like that. How dare y'all? How dare you? And if you know what? And if you don't agree with Colin, if you don't agree with him, then when they stick a damn microphone in your face, you should remain silent. How dare you betray the rest of us out here that don't have a platform? How dare y'all betray us like that after they done plucked your little monkey cells up out of these hoods and up out of these war zones, that you will be right in here with us had it not been that you can throw a basketball or you can put a fucking ball through a hoop. You understand what I'm saying? Or throw a baseball. You would be a nigger. You would be a catch a bullet just like any one of these brothers out on the street, and you got a position. And if you don't agree with him, you mean to tell me, for the good of the whole, and since you know that we're being killed in the streets like dogs, I'm not saying that white folks don't get shot down, because of course they do. And poor whites, listen, that's why the whole thing is so stupid, because we don't have enough sense, and they don't have enough sense to realize that this is a war of attrition, and it's a spiritual warfare. Okay, if you poor and you white, you're not part of the 1%, so you're white trash. Okay, and so this color construct that they got us all fighting about, you are co-signing a system that was built to make money off of poor black people. Well, poor people that were rich, and that are rich in spirit, and that are rich from the very continent that they come from. So you have to subjugate them to all types of inhumane treatment so you can give the illusion that they ain't shit. But really, you ain't shit. Okay? Because if you were, you could deal with the truth. All this comparing Colin to Ray Carruth is the most ignorant, is the most hypocritical, is the most egregious thing that you can do to a human being. I want Colin to know that everybody in the hood is standing with you, brother. You are a newfound hero. You go into the category with the Muhammad Ali's and the Jim Browns, the Jabs. That's what we call them in Milwaukee. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the Bill Russells, John Carlos. Those are men See, those are men. And what's wrong with America today is um, uh, you have a lot of, how should I say, of scary men. Mama men is what they call them in Jamaica. Mama men. They're afraid. And I'm afraid that part of this is our problem as women who have been single mothers, who have raised these sons to be punks. Well, we could only do what we knew, but we didn't have the foresight. We didn't have the wherewithal and the education enough to even take our sons to be around men for whatever reason. So even if you was going to be a single mom, and even if you are a single mom, you should make sure you put your son in something like a Clara Muhammad preparatory school. Because you can't teach him how to be a man. And if you are in charge of him, more than likely you're going to produce one of these little bitch-made American Negroes, these little hybrids that won't even speak up for themselves. In fact, one that are so ignorant that they'll throw somebody under the bus for speaking up for them. That's why I say again, we are participants. Listen to this. Listen how crazy the slave job did on us. We are willing participants in our own demise. And we want white folks to love us so much. We want to be them friends, they friends, and them accept us so much that we would willingly not speak up when children are killed. Y'all, and nobody said nothing when Tamir Rice was shot. A 12-year-old boy. How many of you guys got 12-year-old sons? Well, you should go in and tell them every night, your daddy is a punk. That's what you should tell them. Your daddy is a bitch-made Negro. Okay? I'm a hybrid. So you are not going to even give your son an example of a man. Because see, there's also a scripture that says, what would it profit a man to gain the world and lose his soul? You Negroes have lost your souls. You lost your souls. And because God, to the dominant society is money, we never came from that. We came from we're a spiritual backing people. But that's going to show you how mixed up we are and how much of a hybrid we are. Because now we worship money just as much as them. The whole spiritual aspect of who we are, our very essence of being people who are closer to the equator, more spiritually grounded people, all that's lost is lost in the game. Because you are talking about Colin don't need to make no more money and yada yada yada, and you should be glad you're making a million. That has not a damn thing to do with anything. That's why Muhammad Ali said, well, you can take this fight back today. You can take your money back today. And yes, we honor Muhammad Ali because of the sacrifice. You niggas, the only sacrifice y'all know is how to run up and down the damn field of train to get to be a damn slave to play in the NFL. If you make it. Or the NBA. Guess what? They got y'all so messed up that you're not who you was created to be. You're a hybrid. I'm a hybrid. We're all hybrids. And when you're a hybrid, if the dominant essence of you can't even see, can't even acknowledge that it's wrong for it to be open season on black men in general. Native American. The only reason I'm speaking to black as a black person because that's what I am, my clan. But of course I know that probably the ones that get shot down the most are the Native Americans. So how could you sit there and see a Native American stand up and say something for justice? That's why they don't have none of them in the football league. Don't you think for 1 minute there's nobody qualified? But if anybody was to say something regarding these conditions and they get compared to a murderer, then I know that the people, the dominant society, that's a serious brain fuck. And that's exactly what they're trying to do. They're trying to stop me from being a free and independent thinker. They killed Tamir Rice, Rice, Trayvon Martin, And just for the record, I didn't have a problem with what Donald Sterling said at all. See, I think because what he said was it true? Because that's the bottom line. Everybody jumped up. Oh, Donald Sterling. My whole thing was it true? And if it was true, and if you were that insulted, what did you do about it? What did the whole league do about it? All you super Negroes. What did the league do? What did you Negroes do? All over in solidarity as black men who are plucked out of these damn inner cities to play for the master. Just like on the plantation when they pluck them out the field and come and entertain the master. And you mean to tell me you don't understand the difference between a finger poking at somebody and somebody balling up their fist with 5 of them and striking a mighty blow? You don't know nothing about that? That means as women we failed our sons. We failed them. Hell, most of the women out here are more men than women than the men out here. And that shit got to change. That has got to change. We can't afford to produce no more pickaninnies. We have to develop and breed and create men. The Muhammad Ali's, the Jim Browns, the Jabs, the Bill Russells, the John Carloses, the Colin Kaepernicks. And that's why, as a white woman, as a black woman, I have to respect Colin Ferguson's mother. His adopted mother. Not the one who gave him up for adoption. Because that's a whole different story of what I think about. Don't forget, I live an hour away from Green Bay. And so we're not going to get into that. But I appreciate the people who raised him. Because that's why I say all this stuff starts in the home. Because if you are raising a healthy and honest, a validated, excuse me, a respected, a nurtured child, then they'll have the courage to do what Colin Kaepernick did. That can only come from courage, and the kind of courage that you get. Abdul-Jabbar had very educated parents, had very smart parents, had parents that were proud. That's how you produce a Muhammad Ali, a Jim Brown. Otherwise, you ain't producing nothing but a big dumb jock to run up and down in the court to be, I don't want to say nothing, cause I don't want to take my money. And for that, I am supremely embarrassed. I mean, seriously, because the more I think about Tiger Woods and how they made him apologize when that woman came out after him with those golf clubs. Any fool in a right mind will know that that white woman who was the maid, and Tiger was so. I saw some old footage of Tiger when I don't mean to digress, but I saw some old footage of Tiger speaking about what he was going to do when he came into the golf game because white people were so prejudiced and how they looked at him, and he wanted to show them that black people. This is a kid talking like that. These are the kind of conversations our children have to have. Okay? Or if they pour white trash, they're probably talking about, I gotta let them know that everybody that does this with a straw hanging out their mouth is not. Okay? But as far as we're concerned, when I saw that with Tiger Woods and flash forward to his wife chasing him down and bashing the windows out with a golf club, and then that whole lie that the media helped conjure up. And then they made this man get on TV and apologize for having an affair with this woman, took all of his endorsements, did all that, made her come up, made him a villain. And I'm not saying for 1 minute I condone Tiger's behavior. Let's get that straight. Let's get that straight. But it kind of makes me wonder, had that been Shawnee O'Neal when she was married to Shaq, would that have happened? The only reason Kobe Bryant came out and did the press conference is because he was accused of a rape. If he had just had an affair and nothing ever happened, he didn't get caught, you think they would have gave a damn about the little Mexican girl that he's going with? This country is built on race. When are we gonna stop trying to deny that big elephant in the room? So now race is intertwined with class, and it's going to be even hard to distinguish the enmeshment. But one thing I know for sure is that black people, we are not hallucinating. We are oppressed. We're not rich. What Donald Trump said was true. What do you got to lose? We're ignorant. We're low, on the low end of the totem pole. Okay? And I'm not saying that to say for you to vote for Trump. Let's get that straight. I'm just saying it because I would never, ever, 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 ever vote for Hillary Clinton. So well, I know I'm from one subject to the next. So let me pull this back in. Anytime you or do things, something that's detrimental to your race, because a control group, you're afraid of offending them, and they offend you every day, you are a coon. You are a Sambo, and you are not a good reflection of our people and what we're going through. You have an obligation and a duty as a man, to speak up. But I tell you what, all those sisters from the WNBA spoke up right away, didn't they? We were on the front line, wasn't we? Wasn't the women out there front and center? That's what I thought. That's why I said, the brothers that's grassroots, they know what I'm talking about. But y'all that's sitting up there in them posh hotels and them big mansions and whatever, y'all some bitch made niggas. That's exactly what you are. And if you're not going to stand behind my brother Colin, who's the greatest athlete that come out, and as far as I'm concerned, in the last 10 years, his mouth, his stance as a man has gained him a new respect in spite of all of you that are trying to tear him down. The streets love him. The streets got him. And the rest of y'all, you can go fuck yourselves. Comparing him to a man that murdered his pregnant girlfriend and put her in the back of the car, so because he didn't want to pay child support. You're gonna compare this man here to that sick ticket Ray Carruth. Okay. Y'all, you don't even support a person who speaks on your own behalf. I'm so bad. I'm sad for us. And I shudder to think. I'm shudder to think what the next generation is gonna look like. In a way, I'm glad I won't be here to see it. Because if there's any more of this shit right here, I know I've seen enough. I didn't come up with these kind of men. I don't know nothing about these kind of men. Bitch-made hybrid Negroes. I'm sorry. If you like what you hear, please subscribe. And I just had to let you know how I feel about how y'all dumping on Colin Kaepernick. Have a great day.